Boys Fantasy Football League here. Special event with the one and only Vinman of No Grass on the Field. Vinman had something he wanted to get off his chest on the Fun Boys Fantasy Football League this week, and the floor is yours.
That's not the only thing I wanted to get off of my chest, if you couldn't tell. I just wanted to discuss about some questionable practices that have been talked about on this show by my cohorts in the league, and I want to answer some questions, just to dispel some myths here. First off, I'm going to talk about my draft, because my draft has been ridiculed on this program. But I have to say,
quick question before you get into that. Overall, do you think you had a strong draft?
I think I had the best draft I could have had with what I was dealt at the time. I have to say that. Now, I have openly said that I did not like my draft. It's more for personal reasons than anything. Strategically, I think I had a solid draft. I have to say that. I'm going to start right from the top. I drafted Michael Turner first off, and now I have been ridiculed by Justin for taking Michael Turner and not taking Drew Brees. And I'm going to explain that. You see, this year in the NFL, one thing that's a very rare commodity is a running back that's going to get 80-90% of the carries in his system, an every down back. And Michael Turner is an every down back. And by the time that Michael Turner came around, the good, really top tier every down backs were all gone, and he was the only one that was left. Now, I felt at the time there was still some value to be had in quarterback, which is why I chose Michael Turner first, and I did not take Drew Brees. Initially, I was planning on picking Andre Johnson, and then solidifying my wide receiver group. But he got taken a round before me, so what are you gonna do?
Actually, the same round, he was first round.
Well, I mean the pick before me, I should say, pick before me. So what I wanted is one thing that I thought I needed going into this draft, if I wanted to get a solid team, is I need a running back that's a primary running back in his system. The next running back that was taken was D'Angelo Williams, and D'Angelo Williams, great running back. He's in a two-back system there. It's a two-headed monster, which is why I felt the best value at that time was to go with Michael Turner. So strategically, I think that was the right move. After that, I had also been ridiculed for supposedly, as I was told, reaching to get Matt Schaub. And we know I've been a big Matt Schaub proponent for a while. He's a really...
You've been giving him reach-arounds for 2 seasons.
I'll give him a Dutch rudder, But I just want to say, I don't think it was reaching at all, to tell you the truth. When I got him, another thing that I thought I needed to get a solid team in this league was a top-tier quarterback, all right? And by the way I assessed it, there were 5 top-tier quarterbacks, all right?
Who were they?
Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Matt Schaub.
All right. So enough with the quarterbacks. Move on to the rest of your.
Well, let me just explain. So I wanted a top tier quarterback. Matt Schaub was the next one there. He wasn't. Justin says he was going to be available in the next round. I don't feel he was going to be available, because at that time I was at the top of that group. So next it would be another a ways before I would get to pick again, because it wasn't going to snake, or it was snaking around the long way. So then after that, I felt my draft went pretty much steady, except for my wide receiver situation, which is my biggest problem right now on my team. I don't like my wide receivers one bit. Chad Ochocinco, he's an inconsistent guy. He could do great. He's feast or famine.
And that's not due to him. That's all Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson's not on that team.
Excuse me.
Carson Palmer.
You know I always get those mixed up.
Yeah, who, by the way, I think Carson Palmer is going to actually pay off this year. Just, not great, but he's going to be a decent quarterback.
By the way, I always get them mixed up because who cares?
Mm-hmm. So like I said, Ocho Cinco's Feast or Famine. The problem, which I did not see coming, which is it didn't happen in any other draft that I did, is this year the wide receiver core was actually pretty stacked.
Very deep.
Very deep. But the problem was in our draft, which didn't happen in any other draft I tried, is people started hoarding up on wide receivers. Teams that I didn't. I expected people to take one good wide receiver. People were taking two good wide receivers at a time. My friend George's team loaded up on wide receivers.
Multiple scoregasms.
Team on bottom loaded up on what a wide receiver lineup. He had Roddy White and Andre Johnson. He loaded up on wide receivers. Even your team with Miles Austin and Deshaun Jackson. I mean, that's a stacked wide receiver crew. So I figured, and like I said, it didn't happen in any other draft that I did, that the wide receivers I was gonna be able to go down the list and kind of get something a little late for the wide receiver group. And unexpectedly, the best thing on the board at the time was it was between Chad Ochocinco and Steve Smith was the next best. Real Steve Smith, not fake Steve Smith, because fake Steve Smith is gonna shit the bed this year. And I chose Chad Ochocinco just clearly on the fact that Matt Moore, who was throwing to him at the time, is a little untested. We don't really know what we're getting out of him. And it turns out he could be getting replaced by Jimmy Clausen soon. So
yeah, Jimmy Clausen looked great. Actually, I feel comfortable having a wide receiver that he's sort of catching.
But he's still a rookie. We don't know what we're gonna get from him. So I'll take
arm, good position.
If I have to go between the enemy I do know and the enemy I don't know, I'm gonna take the enemy I know. Okay. I'm gonna take Carson Palmer, who's actually played and he's done fairly well. He's had a Pro Bowl season, and I'm gonna take Chad Ochocinco, who also has been a multiple-time Pro Bowler.
Are you done defending your draft? Because we have other questions to move on to.
Yes.
I'd like your assessment on your Scott Lecca situation, and he filled in on this. He highlighted on this.
All right, he highlighted on this, and
Scott Lecca highlighted on this, and I just wanted to get your take on your draft situation. No, excuse me, not your draft situation. Your mishap with. As we call it, the failure to read. Do we have an official name for this scandal? We could call it the
Vingate or something like that
or something. Oh, by the way, just walked in the door, Justin, team owner for Team Power here. Why don't you take a seat here? All right, defend this situation. Grab the door here.
All right. This was a mishap, but I feel there's two ways that we can really go about looking at this little mishap. First, I'll tell you the story behind it. I explained it a little.
No, we know the story. We heard it already.
All right. So, there's two ways you can really look at this. You can look at it as, I made a mishap and I lost Marion Barber. All right. Now, Marion Barber, he's a decent bench player for me. I think he could go off. He could go off at any time, but he wasn't the biggest asset to me because he is in a 3-back system and he hasn't really been producing lately for me. So I don't consider it the biggest loss that I lost Marion Barber. Actually, I was considering dropping him anyway because I needed...
really dropping Marion Barber?
Yeah, he put up 3 points the past 2 weeks. He's in a 3-back system. And I believe Felix Jones is getting more carries than him right now. So it's not really the biggest loss at this time. It's a loss, but you know what cause and effect of this is. And if we know the Ladybugs, which we do, if you think of what happened, I mean, they're notorious for breaking down after a mishap happens. So I mean, he might be a little taken off his game right now.
This is the best thing to happen to the Ladybugs. I'm ecstatic for them because I think they're going to win some games. And you know what? I think they're going to beat your team next.
I agree. I think he got back on track. He got Marion Barber for free out of the situation.
He did.
Mm-hmm. And Frank Gore is going to get hurt.
We will see. We'll see what
Michael
happens.
Luck has reversed, and it's going to take a toll
Notoriously,
why don't you explain to the fans what happened? Actually, how we resolved this situation?
We resolved the situation by a council of elders assumed, and they said that I should basically, for my mishap, I should pay a penalty of giving up a player. I offered Scott originally Dwayne Bowe, who also I think is a piece of crap, but he chose Marion Barber, and actually I was actually more excited that he took Marion Barber.
You should just drop it.
Because I am weak at wide receiver. Dwayne Bowe is not great, but he's basically my starting wide receiver at that. I'm thinking of changing him out for Anarius Thomas or Denarius Thomas, who had a good game, who I think is going to be the number 1 wide receiver on the Broncos. But we'll see what happens with that. Now Marion Barber, I had the depth at running back. I wasn't, like I said, I don't find it that big of a loss because he's in the 3-back system. He scores 3 points a week, and he's not getting as many carries as a Felix Jones.
Okay.
And also, let me just say, we know Scott Lecca to have breakdowns over things like this. I wouldn't put my money on the Ladybugs so suddenly. We've seen him go. He's played golf before, where he's been doing great, and then he's on top of the world. Well, golf, we could translate it to life, to anything.
This is the Fun Boys Fantasy Football League here. This isn't golf.
All right, this isn't golf, but still, the fact remains, he is 0-2. And you're putting a lot of eggs in his basket.
All right, I'm sick of this golf thing. Listen.
Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you have the right to ridicule at the moment since you did lose the last game.
I did lose, but you did have 2 players who just put up ridiculous games, and then everybody else was single digits on your team.
2?
One of them won you the game, the one that you required from Scott Lecca that very week.
Yeah, well, the Ladybugs. So thank the Ladybugs for that victory.
I do. I dedicated that win to the Ladybugs.
Yeah.
I said that before. And let me just say, it was also the pick that I was criticized. 2 of the picks I was criticized about.
Now, listen.
That got me that.
One other thing, you wanted to address your match up this week with I don't know, what the hell team is that? Yeah, Team Joe.
Team pay your dues because you haven't paid them yet.
Team Joe. We might as well drop him and let someone else take over the team. I don't know. Let's hear this.
Yeah, I issued a challenge to him today. And the challenge was that I will spot him. Originally I said 30 points, but he was feeling bold, I guess. And it went down to 25 points. Okay. So I'm going to spot him.
Win by 27.
I'm going to have to spot him 25 points. All right? And 25 points that if the loser is going to have to shave their pubic hair against the grain.
Hey, this is PG Levels.
Or a shag.
Don't ruin the Fun Boys Fantasy Football League with your PG
This
bullshit.
is a family show.
Pubic hair is a very natural thing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying pubic hair. But they will have to shave it against the grain. And I'm sure we've all made that mistake once in a while. We know what it is. Very irritating, very red. It's no fun. And so that's the challenge I laid out to him. I sent the text to him, and he got back to me promptly, and he said, "You're on."
All right, that will be posted in the forum. You heard it here. Accepted. Loser has to shave against the grain.
Shave what against the grain?
So it doesn't matter anyway. I'm the editor, so I can take out anything I want. By the way,
I'm the league GM. I can refuse to post it.
that's okay. So anyway, we have just one other thing to address here. You said in your opening statement you wanted to dispel some questions that people had about your draft. No one asked any questions.
There were no questions, there were criticisms, and I felt I got it through.
No questions, there were criticism, but no questions. No one asked, no one cared.
And I'm gonna keep